Hi everyone, my name is Kaushalya and I'm going to be doing a video of how to use the HP12C calculator, and this is the calculator. So you can see that it does not have the same functions as a normal calculator. Some of them are a little different. When you start to use it, it can be very confusing because it does not function as the same as a normal algebraic calculator. And I'll clear up some basic things that we need to do real estate mathematics using this calculator. So let's start off by showing what each one represents. I'm going to be pointing at it. So N in here represents the number of payments, I represents interest, and PV represents present value, PMT represents the payments or periods, FV represents the future value. So when we on this calculator, notice how it ons, but it does not have an off button. So we use the same on button to off the screen. But if you had anything typed on this screen, I'm trying to show an example, and you go and press on, the screen offs, but it does not clear the screen. So the calculation will pop up. So whenever you try to do a calculation, make sure you press CLX, that is to clear the display. Otherwise, you'll be calculating on top of whatever was already calculated. So I press CLX and that is it. And another thing is when we start using this, we need to set up whether we want calculations in 2 digits or 4 digits. To do that, what we do is press this orange F and then you press the type of number you want, whether you want 2 digits or you want 4 digits. Let's go 2. So now you have it for 2 digits. Let's do 4, F and 4. So that gives you 4 digits. I'm going to switch it back to 2. For some calculations, you will be needing to do for 4, but for most of them, you can do for 2, except when we start percentages. That's the time that I would be switching to 4. So let's try a couple of math problems that I have created. Let me see. And so these are a couple of problems that I actually created. Let's start question 1. An appraiser is determining the number of square yards of carpet for a room that is 14 inches by 16 inches. So to do this calculation, what we would be doing is we would go here and type 14. Let me try to. I'm going to clear it and then I'm going to type 14, enter, 16. Times, then 9. So this gives, let me try to show this again. Okay, let me switch it up that it can be easy. So this will be 14 into 16 times 9 and then its division. So the answer would be 2489. Notice how we did not enter the symbols right after the number. When we do calculations on this, its enter is always what we are going to use instead of the plus before. So if I wanted to add 2 numbers, what I would do is 5, enter 5. And then I would do whatever the function that I wanted it to do. So that gives 10. If we try to do 5 plus 5, it doesn't know because it is a different notation system. It will not recognize what it's doing and it's going to be going off on the previous calculations. That's why you're going to see a different number. That's why we always do 5, enter 5, and then the addition, so that it gives exactly what we want. And then let's try the second question. A 1.5 story residential dwelling has 1200 square feet of gross living area on the first floor and 746 square feet of gross living area on the second floor. What is the total GLA of the dwelling? So if we were to do this question by hand, what we would be doing is adding up all the square feet of gross living area in the house to get the total. And here I'm gonna show it was 1200. I'm gonna start by clearing it. 1200, enter 746 plus. So it's gonna be giving a total gross living area of 1946. And then let's try another one. Consider a transaction in which a house is selling for 190K. The seller is paying 5% of the sale price toward the buyer's cost. Determine the net amount. So if you were to do this calculation on a paper without a calculator, how we would be going is we would be calculating 190K, 5% of 190K, how much that would be. And then we would be taking that amount and deducting it from 190K. So that gives us the net. So let's try that on here. The calculator makes it really easy to do this versus doing it by hand. And this is how we're gonna do this. Okay, I entered clear 19000. So that's 190K. Then I press enter, and the 5%, I press 5, then I press percentage. So that gives us the cost of how much the seller is paying towards the buyer's cost, and that is 9,500. So to get the difference, the net amount, we would have to deduct this amount from the price of the house is selling. And instead of doing it separate, right now I'm going to show how we do it on the calculator. After doing this, what we do is right there we just press negative. So this is the net amount. So we did not have to go out and do the calculation again. We just continued with, after finding the net, we wanted that whole transaction to reduce the amount that we found. So that's how we got the net. I'll show that once again. It's 190K, enter 5%, that's it, and minus. So this is how you do that calculation on this calculator. And let's try another one. A house that sold 1 year ago for 500K sold again today for 660. Determine the percent difference in value. So for that calculation, how we are going to do is, I'm trying to do as much as questions as possible to show how each function can be used. So this one has a different use than the previous one. How we calculate this is, I do clear 500K, enter 660. Because what we are looking for is percent difference in value. Notice how many percentages we have in here. This represents the percentage. This represents the change in percentage. So that is the percent difference. I'm going to press that. So this is the percentage that we're going to get, 32%. It's a positive 32. And now let's clear. And let's try the final question. So if 1250 is 12, if 1250 is deposited in a savings account, earning 17.5% interest, how much will be in the account at the end of 5 years? So let's notice how we do this one. So we clear the screen for every single calculation. Then we go 1, 2, 5, 0. The PV that I told at the beginning, that is the present value. We press PV and then we enter the interest, 17.5 I, and then we enter the number of years. So that is 5N. Now to get the future value that we are going to be getting, we press FV. So that's 2799.62. So this is how you do a bunch of calculations in one sequence. That is actually really easy compared to having to do everyone separate. And here is it. And here are the questions we did. So I hope you guys learned it too. And thank you.